Hey, welcome in, everybody. We're going to get into some extended content. This, of course, is some additional material that is only available for our group members. It goes out to them first. We do eventually put it out on YouTube on our secondary channel, but right now, this, of course, is for our foundation members and, of course, our MSI members. If you guys are in the membership program right now, welcome in. There's 3 levels you guys are in on. Either you're a Diamond Circle member and you're getting our email. This video will make its way to you usually 3 to 4 days after the market movers and the foundation members get it. But the cool thing is you still get a chance to see a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. And I do want to kind of just give you guys an update on the MSI 2.0 if you're not already utilizing this. And one of the things with the MSI is the amount of tool sets that are available within it. This is a nice video. Check it out. It's over on our website, Paul Bear Network. And of course, you get the sentiment analysis tools, which are the individual overall market rankings, which we look at general markets, we look at ETH, Bitcoin, and of course, all the sectors out there from AI and so on. Today, we're going to be talking about AI and tokens to watch for sure. But you will notice that you have this indicator available over in TradingView. And if you haven't already put it in place, let us know. We'll get it in place for you. It's very easy. All we need is your TradingView account name, and you will be able to get it. And I'll show you exactly how it works. Let me switch over to the chart real quick. And we're looking at Bitcoin. Just to give an example, so what you're seeing within the indicator right now is our sentiment panel right here. So I'm looking at Bitcoin. Let me kind of zoom in on that for you guys. You can kind of see the sentiment metrics. So you've got trade, MSI, volume sentiment, net volume sentiment, and then overall average. Right now, Bitcoin, of course, is doing very well as it continues to kind of grow up the chart. We'll take a look at this one too, because right now it's holding that 89 range. However, it's been into the 92 and 93 on Wix. Whether or not this can hold is the big question. Right now, I think that based on what we're tracking with Bitcoin and its upward trend on sentiment, because it's completely broken out of the range, this is set for 100K Bitcoin. It is without a doubt the sentiment ranges that we're seeing right now, 100K. I want to take a look at some other ones. Of course, you guys have been watching us. We did a couple of XRP videos. XRP, of course, is flying because of the Robinhood scenario, but this is another good example of a highly trending token right now based on overall market sentiment. It is the #1 trending token, at least in the top 100 when it comes to overall market sentiment. So that's another one. Solana also continuing to hold its position. This one is a little different because right now, though the sentiment has dropped slightly around 62, money flow is coming back in. So if you guys are not aware of that, let me kind of draw a few things for you. Money flow is starting to come right back in. We are continuously seeing sentiment hold its position, and you've got this nice trend upline that continues on track. Right now, there's no reason to see Solana do a retest to some of its lower highs. So I'm still looking at Solana as being a very, very fast mover. Another one that we're going to be watching, of course, is Avalanche continuing its position, strongest sentiment rise versus ETH. And right now it's fallen off slightly against Sol, obviously with the last 3 days sliding down to around 31.94. I think Avalanche is about to take a move somewhere in the $30 range. If it does, then I am expecting a little bit of a reversal right here. Let's go into some other ones. And of course, I think the big ones that we want to talk about is the AI sector. And I want to flow over into something that's happening in the markets itself. And this is data. Edge computing market is set to grow around almost 20 billion from 24 to 8. Now, the key here is the demand for decentralized computing. And what does that mean? When you look at, and we've shown this before in the render videos, but I think the scenario is people don't really completely understand how big this market is. Now, there's a lot of big companies within this one. Let me kind of zoom in on that. Key market players, you're going to see Alphabet in there, Amazon. You've got companies like Cisco, Dell. Amazon, of course, is in this, IBM, Microsoft, Nokia, NVIDIA, of course. But the ones that I'm looking for are the companies that are going to do decentralized compute. Now, there's 2 that I think have the potential. If you think about Render, you could also look at Near Protocol. But the big thing is growth in this sector. This is a chart that shows the amount of growth. I think this is underdetermined, mainly because it's looking at some of the bigger markets right now. The North American market, the United States, Canada, etc., will most likely see the largest amount of growth. But I anticipate we may see a lot more growth with decentralized compute, especially in the graphics rendering and cloud compute area, than what companies and some of these markets are anticipating, only because of what I've seen with render. Other things that I'm watching right now is the render price. I'm going to go over to a chart real quick. Render, of course, showing bullish momentum. This is all AI tokens. I think AI is going to continue to be a dominant sector in there. And one of the things that you have to consider with render is, first of all, it's social dominance. Let me zoom in on that. Social dominance right now, top 5 AI coins. We're tracking this as the number 2 currently, and it could take over where FET has been leading. I anticipate that will be the case, and I'm going to show you the chart here in a second. But let me go further down here. During the same period, Render's price risen about 40%, positioning as the second biggest winner across all top AI coins. This is just behind AOS, and of course, they saw a 73% indicator, which we called on one of our private streams. So this was an interesting one right now that I think continues to be. So I'm still looking at Render being a very, very fast mover the rest of the month in November. Let me go back over here to the chart. We'll just dive into Render and take a look at this. Now, right now, the MSI rating is a 62.37. That was as of this morning when we were recording this, but it's up 3.8. So just after the 2 down days that we've had with Render, now trading around 678, this could get pretty heated up with Render after what was a nice move up on these candles, and well-deserved, I think, for a lot of people. But I want to zoom out. I'm going to go to the weekly real quick. And let me back on out with some of our drawings here. And I'm going to go to the weekly on Render. Let's get back onto that chart. There we go. Let's go to the weekly here, going to the weekly. And I want to show you guys something on Render, because this is still significantly upstream versus, the zone where we were entering back in here, which was really around February 2023, when you guys were probably tracking us and when we were looking at Render as being the next evolution. Nice moves, of course, here. Big move right here, which was really back in January of this year. And then, of course, the skyrocket move that I think everybody saw in March and April. Here's the thing. I think that Render still has this kind of scenario back in it. And there's a couple of points within this. If you look at the ability for Render to continue its social dominance and its ability to do things that are going to give us these new kind of ranges. Because if you go in and just measure the growth of where we were back in September of last year versus that top, that was a 700% growth. Now, granted, that's massive, but look at where you were if you were back here in the range of even just today, 1,500%. If you were to sell out at that top, you were talking about a range of almost 3,000% in growth. So AI and the cloud compute tokens are still the top tokens that I am watching. So if you guys, and I know gaming, yes, everybody's asking about gaming. I get it. But that's something that I think is going to continue to move along with the rest of the market. The other thing that plays into this, of course, is the overall market itself. Crypto market now is reaching an all-time high as assets all rally market-wide. And there's a few points within this that I think many people are looking at. One, of course, is a lot of money coming back into the VC-backed altcoins. That's a big question mark that I think is going to play into it. But also, you've got to look at the amount of things that are happening within the business entity. Now, this article is talking about policymakers, but in the last 8 days, I have taken so many phone calls, meetings. I've been back to back on companies that are either doing one of two things. They're prepping for a blockchain strategy, and these are huge companies that are big brands. You would recognize them, And then the other side of it is I've taken a lot of meetings that are companies outside the United States that are trying to position in the US. That's how strong they think this market is going. So, with all of that, you have to consider where some of these tokens are going to continue to move. And I think that is the scenario that plays out within all of this. Other things to watch, and of course, overall sentiment, I think is continuing to look very solid and continue to climb. I'll log in here in a second and just get into our our backside because you guys know how to navigate this. But you can go, of course, and get in if you're Diamond Circle, if you want to go into the community, market movers. This will give you into some additional content like this, and also the aspect of being able to just jump into the sentiment tracking. So that's something that you should be able to jump into if you guys aren't already doing this. Get into the dashboard and go over and take a look. This is just data, I think, as of yesterday. We're going to be updating this again. And this will give you some idea of where the market overall is flowing. Bitcoin continuing to be an upside. Almost everything is up right now. Here's the thing with Bitcoin that's continuing to impress me is that amplification. We have two sentiments. You have the sentiment, which is overall, and amplification. That's the red line. It started to intersect right here. It's also done this on Ethereum. And this has been something that has been gliding along and is starting to move into a position right now. Web3 gaming, still very positive. I'm still looking at DeFi as positive. Blue chip NFTs moving. Meme coins, of course, are all up. AI category, still on the move, but there's just not enough of them. So that's why I think it's very important. Depends, same scenario. A lot of good projects, but just not a lot of great projects. And I think that's one thing that you guys really need to take a look at. Fear and greed on this, on our fear and greed, continuing to climb almost to 77. If this gets into the 80s, that's when I think we really start to see the market lose it. And that's including the altcoins. So again, this is very easy to do. If you're already a member, easy to get into. Just jump over to Paul Bearer Network. You'll find all of this available over there in your memberships. And of course, that's where you also get content like this. This will be delivered two ways. It gets dropped into the community, and it also gets dropped into the email based on if you're a paid member. And even if you're a Diamond Circle member, it'll go out to you in a couple days after. But hopefully, this is going to help you guys kind of slice in to where the future is moving. We'll catch you guys soon. Take care.